Well, I guess we're live. We are absolutely live to the world. This is Neil Long. Hello. Welcoming you to the Magic of Podcasting webinar. It's a few minutes before we're due to start. It is a steaming hot night. So if you're just logging in, hello to you. Maybe you're watching the replay, which is absolutely fine because 7 o'clock Thursday, not Thursday night, not everyone can get to a computer screen. But it's good to have you here if you are here. And if you are watching the replay, well, a big hello to you as well. We get started in just a few minutes. Just wait for 7 o'clock, 3 minutes to be precise. Not going to be a hugely long webinar, this one. I do respect your time. Thank you very much. And but I'm going to deliver extreme, and I do mean extreme, amounts of contents and try and make it as entertaining as possible.
Right. Well, I've known Neil Long for a very long time, and I don't actually know how we got to know each other, but I was intrigued by the fact that he was a bona fide breakfast DJ on a radio station. And I listened in on his show a few times, and then he also does DJing, you know, real old school DJing, don't you, for all sorts of events, and you're the one who gets asked to go and open things and do all those exciting fun things. But Neil also became a buddy about internet marketing, and he taught me a lot about podcasting and helped me get really started with my podcast. And I don't know if you know, Neil, but I'm topping 1,000 downloads a month now. And
wow.
Yeah, and since I got really serious about it and got Sarah's help to organise all the guests, we're going out in 69 countries every single time now, which is really very exciting indeed. And it's extremely low cost to do yourself. But I've got to be honest, if it wasn't for your help with the tech and Sarah's help with the organising, it wouldn't be happening. So I think you can do it very inexpensively if you're organised. But I think if you're a busy business person, then it's much better to get someone else to help you with it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
which is partly the purpose of this webinar tonight, but I'll come on to that a bit later.
Yeah,
well,
I think
was a lovely intro.
Well, I just want to say very quickly, pay attention, everyone, because this is the future. It really is, and I listen to podcasts a lot now. So, over to you, Neil.
Thank you. Well, I know it's a steaming hot night if you're in the UK. Welcome to you if you're somewhere else in the world. I can tell you it's about 28 degrees here. So if you're sitting in a room and you're hot and thinking, oh my goodness me, I'm going to try and make this as entertaining as possible. Like Nicola says, I do a radio show, so I'm going to bring a whole load of entertainment into this. I've got some videos to show you, but I'm going to action jam pack it with content as well. So even if you fall asleep through 90% of it, which I really hope you don't, because I'll think I'm really boring and then I'll have an ego problem, but you will learn an awful lot of stuff here, and there's much more to learn about podcasting than you would have thought at first blush. I'm learning more and more and more as I go along. I never stop learning. So that's always a good basis to begin. Do type in the chat box as well. Louise says hello. Caroline says hello. It's just nice to know that you're there. And if you've got any questions as we go along, I'll either do them as we go along if they fit with what I'm doing, or if not, I'll definitely do them at the end. So, you know, don't be backward in coming forward in typing any questions. Or maybe you just want to say hi, you know, like a radio show, and I can do you a dedication. I don't know, maybe play your Beatles record or something like that.
No, we want Happy by Pharrell Williams.
Happy by Pharrell Williams, and I'll dedicate that to your auntie and uncle who've been married 25 years and do all that kind of DJ thing. And anyway, but how to establish yourself as an authority in your niche, create rapport with your customers, create more leads, and sell more with a fun new way of marketing in 5 easy steps. It's called podcasting, and like Nicola quite correctly said at the beginning, it is the future. It really is the future. There are some incredible statistics on podcasting, which I'm going to be coming on to in just a moment. In this presentation, I'm going to be showing you how to podcast. I'm going to be showing you statistics. I'm going to be showing you things that you would not have dreamed existed before you watch this webinar tonight. You'll be going, oh my God, there's that technology? I didn't know that, or maybe you do. And much, much more. I'm just seeing Caroline says, I thought this was a cooking show. I really hope you've been funny, Caroline. The cooking show's on at 8:30, love, with Betsy and Maisie in the kitchen. All right. Suzanne says podcasting will be the basis of a new coaching service I'll be offering. So really looking forward to this. Suzanne, we are speaking the same language. Caroline just wants a sausage roll, I think. But hey, I can live with that. So we're moving on. This webinar is for you if, number one, you want to connect more effectively with your customers. Number two, you want to learn radio and broadcast skills and build them into your business. Number three, you want to improve your confidence in public speaking. Number four, you want to establish yourself as a greater authority in your niche. Number five, you want to create greater rapport and trust with your customers and potential customers. Number six, get your content on multiple platforms. And number seven, you want to sell more. Now, who wouldn't want those things? Would anyone really want to stand up and say that I wouldn't want that? I doubt it. Now, there you go. There's me. That's me. There you go. The fine, good-looking chap. Well, actually, the perfect face for radio. I just thought I'd say that because most people do at some point. There you go. May have a radio face, but my God, can I give good voice. I've worked in radio, just a little bit about me, for the last 20 years. Also as a mobile DJ, like Nicholas said, you know, playing Hi-Ho, Silver Lining and cheesy songs at people's weddings. And also as a voiceover artist. You can probably hear that in my voice and the inflections and things like that. I can do voices and do voices for people. It's great fun. It's not a consistent or guaranteed income. Sometimes in the radio business they give you contracts that are like 3 months long at a time, and it's very hard to sort of run your life on a basis like that. The good thing is I miss all the rush hours. I hardly ever see a busy road because I don't work long hours, I work odd ones, which is the nice thing. So I thought, was there a way of creating another stream of income by using my skill set, my specific set of skills, and then would other people like to learn this? And it seems with the statistics that I'm going to show you in just a minute, the answer is a resounding yes. Question, do we have the technology and the know-how to make this easily available and doable? And the answer is, yeah, of course we do. I've introduced people to podcasting. I've introduced Nicola to podcasting. You'll see a picture come up here in just a moment. It is a legitimate marketing tool. Number one, let's make that point. Let's get that point out loud and clear. It is a legitimate marketing tool. Very, very much so. You can and should be marketing yourself with podcasts. It also can be very, very lucrative if you know what to do. And I will show you. I will give you examples of how you can monetize it in 5 very, very cool ways, because I'm guessing you probably like to know how to do that, and I will be showing you that later on this podcast. It bridges the gap, if you like, between the world of business, in inverted commas, and the world of radio. Normally that gap was only kind of bridged if people did an advertising campaign on a radio station. Now this has leveled the playing field. Basically anyone can get, in inverted commas, on air and live to the world with an awful lot of downloads. Now, what I'm going to have to do is jump in and out of the PowerPoint presentation. It's just we've got a slight glitch with the technology, so forgive me for that. But I would like to show you a quick demonstration about podcasting. Now, this is a video, so this is called vodcasting. It's one of those awful coined words, but you know we'll kind of get where it's going, don't we? It's basically video and audio in one. If you want to spread your message far and wide, you can do both, if you like. Now this is very kind of, I suppose, in your face and a little bit sort of blasé and silly, but that's just how I wanted to market it. If you have a different genre, it would be completely different. The music would be different, the voice would be different. So you know, don't let this put you off. But this is the video which I used to to sell this webinar actually. But it just gives you a little flavour of podcasting. So welcome. Popcorn's available in the foyer, but let's watch a movie. This is basically podcasting in 4 minutes. So if you're ready for this, let's do this thing.
Hello. So here's our mission to help you to produce relevant, entertaining and compelling radio content that your listeners and subscribers will practically rip out of your hand. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, yeah, but you guys are radio professionals, right? That's how you're meant to sound. I mean, it's not likely that a plain old internet marketer, business person like me is going to be able to do radio like that straight away, right? Okay, meet Colin.
Way back in October 2003, you called me out of the blue and offered to interview me for some audio that I could put on my website. But the moment I heard my voice, I thought, oh my God.
So we thought we'd do something about it. So we got Colin on a plane from Scotland all the way down to southwest London, and we got him into a radio studio. And then an hour and a bit later...
Hi, I'm Colin Joss. Tonight on Backroads Radio, I'm chatting with Craig Perrine, the Maverick Marketer. Craig's the go-to guy for building huge responsive lists and profiting from them. Join me, Colin Joss, tonight from 8 for the best internet marketing information on the back roads.
Pretty relevant, pretty entertaining, and pretty compelling, I would say, wouldn't you? Oh, and it doesn't really matter what your niche is either. Oh, hang on, for the benefit of our American listeners, it doesn't really matter what your niche is either. I can train you to do it in your face and hot rocking like you've heard so far. Or, if you need something a little bit more gentle, introducing for a shameless audio testimonial, Amanda Goldston, ladies and gentlemen.
You've helped me enormously with radio. I think, first of all, it's actually giving me the confidence to have my own radio shows. I've now got a regular show that I do over the internet.
Have you ever done radio before this?
No, because I'm talking about a topic that I really love talking about, and I've found that people have been attracted to the show. It's enabled me to promote my books, to also talk about upcoming events, webinars, different things that I've got going on. I found then that I've ended up with personal coaching clients out of it, as well as people who've bought my books, bought my courses. I've had an increase in traffic to my website and to my blog.
Tell us your website address.
It's www.getyourdreamlife.com.
And what niche are you in?
The main niche is actually teaching people how to read tarot cards for fun, profit, and personal growth.
There you go. I did say, no matter what niche you're in, you can do it. Even if, like Amanda, you want to be a little niche-eteric. Presenting the Podcaster's Bible. Anything and everything that anybody would need to know about podcasting, about getting your podcast out there. Syndicating across the podcast networks. Creating relevant, entertaining and compelling radio content. Drawing people back to your websites. Having people buy your stuff as a result of the content you've created. Becoming more visible and relatable, which in the age of Web 2.0 is so necessary as people want to know you, like you and trust you before they buy from you. And with the visibility that podcasting or vodcasting gives, you become a real person, not just a distant voice hiding behind some obscure domain out there in cyberspace somewhere. Okay, here's the hard selling bit. Obviously, we cannot devalue this product by letting you have it for less than it's worth.
A little bit more credibility, please.
Oh, sorry. Obviously, we cannot devalue this extraordinary product by letting you have it for less than it's worth. But today is a special one-time offer for instant action mega bonus. Rip it out of your hand, but only if you act now by word of mouth. And only because we've got friendly staff and adequate parking space and we think you're sexy and we know your mum. You can have this extraordinary product for only... nothing. Zip, nada. All, Jack, Rianne, Zippo, nada, zero, zilch, negatory, nout. Now hurry up before we change our minds. Get your first name and your email address in the box there. Yeah, that one, the one you're looking at right now. And we'll send you a copy of the Podcaster's Bible by email, electronically, delivered absolutely free across the world for you. It's the Podcaster's Bible. I will meet you live on air in cyberspace.
That's better.
Thank you. Can I go now?
Yes.
Will it be my normal fee?
Yes. Salted or dry roasted?
So, who else have I helped doing podcasting? Right, I don't know if you've heard of the Empower Network.
We've heard of Chris and Susan.
Chris and Susan, yep, lovely people. Chris and Susan Beasley, internet business entrepreneurs, speakers, and mentors as well. Websites up there to give them a plug. They're former accountants. They wanted to change their life, as so many of us do. They were looking around for a business opportunity. They came up with the Empower Network, which is a really sort of leading edge marketing information and a platform to deliver it, like a blog platform at its very most basic level, and it's sort of like in sort of network marketing, the packages get bigger and bigger and bigger into sort of bigger and bigger marketing packages. But anyway, they're doing a podcast called Wisecast, which is kind of a blend of personal development wisdom, if you like, and leading edge marketing. They're doing that. They're hosting that on something called SoundCloud. Doing it very cheaply, broadening their reach and connecting with more and more people. As I say, it does build rapport with people. This is Derek Kemp. He's a business partner and mentor of mine. He does the World Class Brand Show. As you may guess, he's a branding expert. He's an authority on branding and internet marketing, a professional speaker, author, mentor, coach, thought provoker, and an all-round great bloke as well. And I will put some audio in the links that I'm going to email to you later as well, so you can have a little listen to Derek Kemp's podcast. It's all very, very simple stuff, the stuff he's doing. It's just a few minutes a week, giving his latest tips. Again, Derek's a lifelong learner. He's been in the business for ages, and he likes to share the things he learns with his students and clients, and podcasting is a very, very good way to do that. There's mine, your onlineprofitsradioshow.com. That's my podcast. Oh, I wonder who that might be. Nicola doing a selfie. Nicola Cairncross, a marketing specialist, best-selling author, speaker, blogger, and podcaster as well, I am proud to say. And there she is, the lovely lady doing the Business Success Factory podcast. How many downloads a week, Nicola?
Yeah, we just topped 1,000 last month. It's going up by about 30% a month, which is extraordinary because I've got no idea how they're finding us.
Okay. Steps to a successful podcast. Number 1, you need to get equipment. Number 2, you need to research and find out who your audience is. Number 3, you need to record it and edit the darn thing. Number 4, you need to promote it. And number 5, we saved the best till last. I expect you'd like to know how to monetize it, and I will be explaining that a little bit later on this webinar. But first, we're going to talk about equipment. First of all, you need some pretty basic equipment. Now, I just went out today and bought myself some equipment, which I'm using now, and I'm using just a pretty simple thing, but find you they do clearly.
They do, yeah.
Thing that I bought at Curry's, and it's just a little set of headphones and a microphone. Cost me about 30 quid. You don't even need to get one that expensive. More on that in just a moment. Is podcasting easy? People say. You need to record it, you need to add an intro, you need to export it, you need to tag the MP3, upload, schedule, publish, and submit to iTunes.
Okay, let's see exactly how quickly we can do this. Now, don't worry, all the stuff you see here will be broken down and explained in much more detail. But let's just have fun, see how quickly we can actually get a podcast on. So the first thing we're going to do is go to Audacity. Open up Audacity on my already very, very busy desktop. That does need to clean up from time to time. There it is, Audacity, with some odd message coming up. Do we want that? No, we don't. So we'll get rid of that. So we're just going to record something now, and record some audio. There we go. So a little bit of audio in there, and then we click stop, and then we're going to do a little bit of an edit, which is very easy. There, we just highlight that and get rid of that. Good. So there's our audio. That is going to be our podcast. Now we're going to save it and export it as well. So we're going to export that audio, and we're going to export that audio into the file which is on our desktop. I'm just going to give it a name. We're going to call it Finished. There you go. 10 out of 10 for originality and creativity there. But there you go. We're not going for literacy awards. We're just going for speed here at the moment. So we're going to call that audio finished. Don't need that message. And there is the audio. And then if we go to the desktop, to the file that we made earlier, you will see it is in there. There it is. So there's the audio we just made called Finished. Right, good. So there's part 1 of our podcast. Now we're going to go to Adobe Audition, which is a much higher quality editing program. Audacity is fine. This is the one they use a lot in radio stations. And I'm going to use both because I like to show off. So we're in Adobe Audition. We've selected multi-track, and we've selected insert from file. So when you click insert, it's going to offer you the files to insert from. We're going to scroll down till we find the file called 3-minute challenge. There it is. And inside is our piece of audio with 2 other cuts as well. There's an intro and an outro. So we're going to put the intro in. There it is. As you can see, there's a bit of loud stuff at the start and then some quieter bits on the end of it. That's like a music talk-over bed. The thin lines that you see, that's the quiet bit. There comes the second bit in. That's our podcast, the one that we called Finished a minute ago, and we're going to put our third cut in, which is the outro. So we've got an intro, the main podcast, and the outro as well. Now we just need to line those up. As you can see, what I'm going to do now, edit. That's good. So I'm just editing one of the cuts. And once we've lined up the cuts in the way that we want, we save it all as one file and then export the file back into the file that we created on the desktop called 3-minute challenge. It will be in there now, and you'll see it in a minute.
Now we go to tag the file. Tagging a file is very, very easy. I'm just going to show you how to do it here. We need to put a tag on the file. So we go into our file tagger software. There we go. Into the file tagger, and we see the name of the cut here is finished. Well, we don't want that. We're going to change its name to something decent now. Online Profits Show. That's a better thing to call it. So there we go. We click on Online Profits Show, and I'm going to show you very quickly how to put an image in as well. So I'll just delete the one that I put in there earlier. We just click on Browse to insert an image, and there it is. There is the image. Now we're going to fill in some details for our tag. So we've got a title, as you can see, and a couple of other details as well, and that pretty much, once we've done that, is all we need to do to tag the darn thing. Alright, so there, title, artist, and some other information as well. I'm making typos as I go along here, so even allowing for typos, we are still going for speed. How am I doing for time? Okay, not too bad. The challenge is still on. I think we can do this. We can do this thing. We can work it out, said the Beatles. Good. And now that's all entered, as you can see, as we click the button. Right, perfect. Now we go to Libsyn, our liberated syndication software. It's very, very easy. We're going to go to at the top, and we're going to go to where it says content at the top. There we go. We'll go to content and add new episode. We're now going to add the episode that we tagged a moment ago. So we're going to, there we go, add media file comes up, and we select add from hard drive. And there it is. You see the tagged episode in there. That's the obviously tagged one. We add that. Then we're just going to scroll down and add a couple of other bits and bobs as well, and criteria. So we're just going to give it a title and a description. You can do the full, the full Monty here, like the full description if you want to in there. I'm just going to write yada 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 or something like that. There we go. But obviously you can give it a full description if you want to. And now we're going to set the time it's going to be released to the world. The rest of the settings, if you set them up properly in the first place, you won't need to touch. The moment I put in keywords, the rest of the settings you won't need to touch. Things like explicit content, if there is, then make sure you tick the button, otherwise you'll get all sorts of people complaining about your podcast, and we don't want that. But no explicit content here. So now we're going to set the time for when it's going to be released to the world. So, there we go. I'm just going to set it for a few days in advance, and because I don't want this to actually be released, it's only for demo purposes. And then we just save what we've done. Okay, we've now saved it. That is now in Libsyn. And now we just need to go back and grab the link, the RSS feed. So we go to destinations and click on the second tab down, and then we can just copy and paste the RSS feed link. There it is. We are copying it. And now we're going to head over to the legendary iTunes. There you go. So we're now going to iTunes. I've logged in. We're going to click submit a podcast. And as we click submit a podcast, we get the chance to do exactly that. iTunes will open up and it'll offer us this little box. We just copy and paste that link you put in Libsyn in that box. And ladies and gentlemen, you're now broadcasting live to the world. How did I go on time? I thank you. I thank you. Result, get in.
Where do you host it? You can either host it on your hard drive of your computer. You would need a plugin to do that. All right, that's called PodPress, and I'll show you a bit more on that later. If you want to do it for free, you can do it on SoundCloud. It's free at first, and there's a small monthly fee, but it is small. Or on Libsyn, there's a small monthly charge there, which you saw in the video. That is only about $15 a month, though, which I'm paying. So, 5 steps to a successful podcast. Once again, number 1, get your equipment. Number 2, research. Who is the audience? Number 3, record and edit it. Number 4, promote it. And number 5, monetize it. All right. Okay. Now, equipment-wise, I talked about this a little bit earlier. You can do it pretty cheaply. I pay £30 because I wanted a good microphone. I'm going to be doing lots of webinars like this. But you can, I mean, look, £4. £4, you can get something which is good enough to do a podcast. Just get, I mean, £2.52 they're making offers for this on Amazon. And the one at the bottom, excuse me, that's $16.99, and that is a desktop stand it stands on your desktop microphone, which will, you know, create something a lot more like a studio sort of effect if you want to do that. But as you can see, the equipment to do it is not expensive. Sure, there's top of the range microphones, and they can be like £200 or £300. If you really do take this to a very, very high level and want to go for like super quality, you're more than free to do that. All I'm saying is you don't have to if you don't want to. Now, researching it is the next step. Now, but you do need to identify your ideal target market. Who is your target market? Is it people who are bored with their jobs and want to make an online income? Is it people that just fancy a bit of a change? Is it people that like travel? You know, who is it? Is it this? Is it that?
Well, I'm actually not going to be showing you how to podcast in this video, which may sound a bit bizarre, being that this is all about podcasting. I'm going to show you how to research it, because I think that's important. If you know what the people are looking for, then you can basically give it to them and start to create custom tailored content or even solutions that they can pay for. So it's very, very good marketing. Now, let me show you some ways of doing that. What we're going to cover four very, very briefly on this video, so let's move on to our first one. And this is a little trick called SurveyMonkey. SurveyMonkey.com. I'm just going to sign in. This is free, by the way. You can upgrade to a paid-for account, but it is free if you just use the basic one. So I've signed in. There we go. And you can see I've got various surveys. This is a way of finding out what people are wanting and getting feedback from it. So there's mine, the Podcaster's Bible, and I'm just going to click Design. Show you the surveys first of all. They're very simple. I'm not going to show you actually how to create them, because I promise you it is so obvious and so user-friendly, and I suppose even intuitive is the word when you actually do it. There's no need for me to show you on this video, but I can show you what I've put in the survey. There you go. Question 1, what's your biggest question about podcasting? And you can either have a single answer or you can design it for multiple choice like this. What will be the most useful to you as you learn about podcasting? Tick as many that apply. Most people tick that one. Basic editing, you know, whatever people want to understand. Question 3, would you be interested in learning about radio broadcasting skills on a regular basis for a small monthly fee? I like to see lots of yeses there. Got a big internet challenge? Well, you can put that in there and we can maybe create a solution for you. And for a bit of fun here, answer this riddle to win a prize on the next episode of your Online Profits Radio Show, which is my Online Profits Radio Show. Your chance to win a $67 product for nothing. And it's just fun to get people's response and have a little bit of fun, because, you know, business can be a bit serious. So I think we all need a little bit of fun in business. 15% of women have more of these than they know what to do with. And before your mind goes there, no, that's not the answer, cheeky. Easy. No one's actually got that right yet. So, ponder that. And let's have a look at the results. If we click Analyze Results, we can see the responses shown. Now, do you remember the first question? What's your biggest question about podcasting? Well, these are the responses. Here we go. Keeping track that are hundreds of files that are parts of the business. Will it help me earning money through the internet? Yep, I'd say it would. How to integrate it with my offerings. How to get it going. You see, this is all feedback, and you can find out what people are saying and either create solutions to their problems or create bespoke content which they can listen to, which would be helpful to them. SurveyMonkey.com, there's the first one, and it's free, remember. Facebook, here's the second one, good old Facebook. Now this is a beautiful market research tool. That's my laptop computer booting up Skype in the background, you might hear there. So if we go to, let's type in Learn Internet Marketing. Alright, there we go, Global Internet Marketing Network. And you can see what people are talking about. There we go. You can comment, you can see what they're talking about, find their problems, create bespoke solutions, you see. Mary Jane Summer. Well, she looks rather nice, I have to say. Not that I'm getting distracted or anything, sorry about that. But you can see and you can interact on these. You can talk to people, you can start conversations, you can become social, which of course is what social media is all about. And as you get to know them and they get to know you, then you can build up a good relationship and a good rapport and use your podcast to start creating solutions to their problems, you see. Internet marketing blog. Now this guy is pretty well known in the internet marketing niche. I've known of him for a while. His name is Yaro Starak. And this is his blog, entrepreneursjourney.com. Now, if you've got a blog like this, you can just go to an article that you've written and look at all these comments, 25 comments. Look at that. And you can see what people are saying. Isn't that great market research? Or you could even go to someone else's blog and find out what people are commenting on in your niche. If you find out a popular blog, and you can start to comment, and you can, you know, find out what it is people are looking for. And then when you find out what they're looking for, you can give it to them. There's also a plugin. I'm just going to show you one plugin which you can
use in your blog, and I will show you in a future video how to upload plugins and indeed the plugins that you need. But let's go to, if we go to Psychic Search, I don't want Psychic Readings. There you go, Max Blog Press, Psychic Search. Now this actually tells you what keywords people are typing in. So when you know what words people are using to find your blog, or content, or podcast, then you can create appropriate content using those keywords, you see. 4 very, very good ways of researching your podcast there. Hope that was useful to you. Next step is to record it and edit it. I showed you Audacity. Cool Edit Pro is another program which you saw in that video. It's also known as Adobe Audition. It's the same company. Cool Edit Pro is a more expensive one, again, depending on what level you want to take this to, but you can do it very adequately and easily with Audacity. And if you do explore this further with me, there will be a full set of videos explaining step by step how to edit on Audacity. Don't take that 7-minute showing off thing seriously. I break it down step by step by step and show you exactly how to do it and edit it to the nth degree of excellence, so it can sound exactly how you want it to. And you can do that too on Cool Edit Pro. They're slightly different programs. I can train you on that as well if you want to. What about interviewing a guest? Would you like to get the best out of them? Free gift alert here for you. See that link there? Write that one down. Grab a bit of paper and write this down. brettmcfall.com/maximizer. He's given it away, so I'm sure he won't mind me giving it to you because he gets a plug here. If you do have a guest on your podcast, these are the questions to ask them to get the best out of them. Have you ever wondered how radio people do it, or how TV people do it, how they create that rapport? Then ask the questions which people really want to hear and that brings the best out the listeners. Okay, this is one formula to do it, and this guy has been pretty damn successful, so he's pretty much worth listening to. brettmcfall.com/maximizer. Write that one down. Write that one down and download it absolutely free as my gift to you. I think Irene has joined us. Hello, Irene. How are you? Do type your hellos in the chat, by the way. I would certainly like to say hello to you as we go along. We can entertain each other as well as educate, or me educate you in this case. So if you got that link, brettmcfall.com/maximizer. If you missed it, I will email you that. Well, I'm going to email you the video with the link. I'm going to email you for the videos. And also, when you signed up for this webinar, you should have got a link to download this just while we're doing the whole Santa Claus free gifts thing, which is the Podcast Bible, the definitive guide to creating, marketing, and monetizing your podcast without breaking the bank. That should have been emailed to you. If not, we get that sorted out, and that's my freebie giveaway, teaching you more about podcasting. Did promise you 2 gifts just for showing up. There's your first one, the Interview Maximizer, and there's the second one. Now, can you remember when you did your first answer phone message and you thought, oh my God, I don't sound like that, do I? That's what most people do. They record the answer phone message and they go, my God, do I sound like that? I probably sound like that cat looks. I mean, blimey. I mean, seriously? Do you like your own voice? Does anyone on this webinar like their own voice? I do, because I'm a show-off and quite a narcissist, but a lot of people don't, and it sort of brings up old sort of feelings of being shy and having to speak in front of class. But I promise you, your voice is trainable.
First of all, tell us how the idea for this project came into being.
Way back in October 2003, you called me out of the blue and offered to interview me for some audio that I could put on my website. That went ahead and it was great fun, but the moment I heard my voice I thought, oh my God, you know, I sound dull, monotonous, Scottish, which was a surprise. just wasn't particularly enthused
He
with
actually
my
got a plane down to London from
performance
Scotland,
and,
came to
passion
a
behind
radio
it.
station I work at, which is a station called Radio Jackie, by the way, in southwest
Hi,
London.
I'm Colin
And we got him in a
Jost.
studio,
Tonight on
and an
Back Row
hour
Radio,
later,
I'm
what
chatting
we've done is
Craig
played to
Ferrine,
his strengths,
the
because
Maverick
Scottish
Master.
accent is a
Craig's
nice
the
accent.
go-to
in my
guy
opinion.
for building
And we
huge,
brought that really
responsive
forward,
lists
put
and
music
profiting
under it,
from them.
and within an
Join me,
hour,
Colin
he was
Jost, tonight for
sounding
me
good
for the
enough to
best
be able to
internet
record
marketing
something
information
to broadcast.
on the back row.
An hour, it is doable.
Hello and welcome to your training. In this video I'm going to show you first of all how to download Audacity, then I'm going to show you some basic editing skills with it. So first we need to go to good old Google and type in Audacity. Oh, there you go, the first one that's come up. There's several actually that you could choose to download. I prefer this one where it says sourceforge.net. You can see it says SourceForge there. That's the one I prefer. So if we go to that website, and you can download it here just by clicking on the link, it will download and run. If you want Audacity for Mac, if you have a Mac and not a Windows system, the best thing to do is just type in Audacity for Mac. There we go. And you can download it, again the top one that comes up. Once you've downloaded it, I assume you know how to download and run a program. If not, shoot me an email and I'll give you a little lesson over the phone or over Skype, but I won't insult your intelligence by assuming you don't know how to do that. So once you've downloaded and run the program, you'll be left with something that looks something like this. Now, this is the basic dashboard. Don't be fazed by this. There is a lot that Audacity does, but we're not going to use all of it for our purposes. We only need to know a very sort of limited repertoire of things, all of which I'm going to go through with you. So don't be fazed by what you see. Let me just give you a very quick basic guided tour of what you'll need to know during these training videos. Okay? Up here we've got the buttons on the top left. Now these buttons are very similar to any cassette deck or CD player or DVD player. Look, you've got a pause, a play, a stop, a back to the beginning, a skip to the end, and a record button. Very, very simple stuff that we've all seen before. I will also say that using the play button, you can use the space bar instead of the play button. If you press the space bar when there's audio in the system, it will act as a play button. So either play or the space bar to play audio. These are your inputs and outputs. This is the volume. When you've recorded some audio, when you play it back, that will determine the volume, just the same as any volume slider. And this is the input button, and that is used to vary the volume of the input into Audacity. So let me demonstrate that. If we click record and we start to put some audio in, you can see it's a tad quiet in there, but if I move this slider up, you can see it getting louder and louder and louder, and that is what we want. And I've got it on a nice full volume there now. So let's say, welcome to your Audacity training. My name's Neil, and I'm going to be demonstrating this system to you in the next few minutes. There's the audio. We press stop. Now you'll notice I put a horrible in the middle there, so I'm going to use that as a demonstration for how to cut it out. It was done on purpose, obviously. Now you can scroll backwards and forwards through the audio by using this bar at the bottom. Let me just show you there. But as you can see, it goes over more than one page, which could be confusing. Now, if you want to fit it onto one page, you need this button here. This is Fit Project. If I press that, all that audio will go on one page so we can see it in more detail. It also works the other way round as well. If, let's just say, you had a very small bit of audio and you wanted to edit it in absolute nano detail, perhaps just on one beat or a breath or something like that, let's just say it just covered, I don't know, half the screen, something like that. If you pressed Fit Project, it would stretch it to the whole screen so you could see it in more detail. So if it's small, it makes it bigger and stretches it to the screen. If it's big, like over 3 pages like you saw, it makes it smaller and fits it all onto one page, which is what we've done here. Now, let's go back to the beginning. If you highlight anywhere in the audio, if you want to go back to the beginning, you need to press the home button, which is on your PC. So we use the home button. As you can see, it's normally on the top right of the keyboard. We've pressed the home button. Now let's go back to the beginning and listen to it. I'm using the space bar here. You'll see the play button light up as I press the space bar. Click record and we start to put some audio in. You can see it's a tad quiet in there, but if I move this slider up, you can see it getting louder and louder and louder, and that is what we wanted. I've got it on a nice full volume there now. So let's say, welcome to your Audacity training. My name's... So what if we started the audio from welcome to your Audacity training? As you can see, I've put the line right where I want the start to be. Welcome to your Welcome to your Audacity. Spacebar is very useful because it acts as a play button, but if I press it again, it takes it back to the beginning point. Watch this. Welcome to your Audacity training. My name... You see? Welcome to your Audacity training. Just using the spacebar there. It's very, very useful, that little thing to know. So we want it to start from that point. So all we do, we highlight where we want it to start. You can see the hand pointing exactly to where the line is, and then we just drag it back. We drag it back, we drag it back, we drag it back to the beginning. That's all we do. We highlight, we click, we drag back, and then press delete. And look at that, it's all gone. Welcome to your Audacity training. My name's Neil, and I'm going to be demonstrating this system to you in the next few minutes. Right, so what else do we need to cut out? Well, let's go to the end. Be demonstrating this system to you in the next few minutes. Well, there's a bit of silence on the end that we could do without, so there's where the word minutes ends. We put our little hand there, we see where the line is, and we highlight it all the way to the right. We press delete, and boom, that's gone. Going to be demonstrating this system to you in the next few minutes. Hopefully you can see just how easy this is. Now, we've only got a fairly small piece of audio now, so let me demonstrate this Fit Project feature in the opposite way. Remember, we had something that spread over 3 pages before, and we shrunk it down to 1 page. Here's the opposite. That will now fit all that onto 1 page, what was left. So we can now edit it in a lot more detail. And what we want to do now is take out that that was in the middle. Audacity training. My name's Neil, and I'm going to be demonstrating this. So, very simple. We just highlight the start and end point. So we want to start the edit there. We click, we hold it down, we drag to where we want the edit to end. We press delete. And look at that. If we go back to the beginning, you'll see it's gone. Welcome to your Audacity training. My name's Neil, and I'm going to be demonstrating this system to you in the next few minutes. And how about that? That is your first editing lesson on Audacity. We've covered the buttons that operate it. We've covered the volumes. I've shown you what Fit Project does. There it is in the whole screen again. And I've also showed you some basic editing skills.
I would say it would take you realistically, after watching my very good videos, it takes you about 90 minutes to master all you need to on the Audacity editing software. It does look a bit like a plain cockpit when you first get on there, but if you have a good teacher, me, I'll show you how to do it, and it is actually pretty easy. I would say realistically about 90 minutes to master Audacity and to master a simple editing software. Step 4, promote it, syndicate it, and grow that audience. Would you like to know how to do this? Would you like to know how to promote? Just, isn't that great word, syndicate, and grow your audience? 5 ways to do it. Let's quickly whip through them. Number 1, first of all, you leverage existing sources. Stitcher is online radio. SoundCloud is online radio. I mentioned Chris and Susan Beasley, who are hosting their podcast on there. Number 1, leverage the existing directories. They're already there. And of course, the biggest one of the lot, the big boy on the block, is iTunes. That's the big one. You want to leverage iTunes. And there's things iTunes do for new podcasts that actually give you extra promotion in the first 8 weeks you're there, and you want to be taking advantage of that. But iTunes is the big one. Some statistics: 85% of downloads will come through iTunes. 525 million active users in the last 30 days. Active means they were in the iTunes store. Now, these are the statistics I was talking about. 525 million active users in the last 30 days, people that have been in the iTunes store. Folks, when people type in a keyword, it could be your podcast that is coming up as a free resource. Let that sink in for a minute. And 85% of the downloads, yeah, it could come from these other two, quite possibly, Stitcher and SoundCloud, but like I say, iTunes is the big boy. So you want your stuff coming up when they type it in that search box. That search box there, when they type it in. Do you know how many people have used that search bar? 45 million. Now, what would you like to pop up on their screen as a free resource when they type in your keywords? You! And this is how it started. This is the power of this stuff. This is how it gets you out there. This is how it broadens your reach, and you're giving people great content. Like hopefully I'm giving to you now. Hopefully you're learning stuff. You'll do the same for other people. You'll teach them your stuff. They're going to want to know what you've got to say, and you can find out what they want to know by using the methods we talked about earlier. Do you see how this all sort of fits together? 45 million people a month. The possibilities. There's a bigger picture of that search bar. You've seen it on iTunes. It's there. 45 million people a month. 315 million people a month access iTunes on their iPhone. That means there's a new term. I call this a kind of modern day 21st century term. They've got arm's reach access to you. I've got my iPhone here right in front of me. I could access anyone on the planet just by reaching out my arm. If you're on iTunes, that's what people can do to you and to your podcast. Arm's reach access. Now, look at this. Apple CarPlay. Have you heard of this? This is Apple's products in your car. In your car. And look what I've highlighted there. Look at the arrow. What's that pointing to? Podcasts! People could be listening to your podcast when they're driving to work. What if it was a business person wants to get the latest news on this or that? They could be listening to you. It could be your voice coming out your car radio, for goodness sake. Your voice. Can you see the power of this stuff? I'm getting somewhat overexcited now. Nicola has typed in the search bar, by the way. This is the biggie. Oh, and no adverts either, she says, for CarPlay. Yes, unless you have your own adverts in there. Absolutely. Don't people just hate adverts? It annoys that. Nicola says 80% of her downloads come from iTunes, and we got on something called New and Noteworthy. Thank you, Nicola. I'm going to come on and explain what New and Noteworthy is in just a moment, actually. Remember I said iTunes give you extra promotion when you first go on there. I'm going to come to that. But yeah, seriously, your voice on your car radio, other people listening to you. You ever wanted to do your own radio show? This has really leveled the playing field. And no more annoying DJs. Oh, wait a minute. I'm one of those. Damn. Yeah, so your voice coming out the car radio. This technology is going to be in all cars by 2015, and Google have also announced Android Auto. This is the same technology under a different name. Obviously, there's lots of competing things here. So, thank you, Nicola, for this. Now, the second way to promote it is something called New and Noteworthy. It's what Nicola was talking about. Maximize this. The first 2 rows in iTunes are the New and Noteworthy podcasts. You get this for 56 days, 8 weeks. Look. If you look on the bottom row, 1, 2, 3 along, look who's there. Your Online Profits radio show. That's me. When you do something new, iTunes will promote you. Make the most of that. Make the most of that, without a doubt. Third way to promote, leverage the audience of your guests. Why not find out what your listeners want? Find a famous, maybe expert that does that and interview that expert. This is a win-win-win. Kudos for you, exposure for the expert, and important information for your listeners. It's a win-win-win. Nobody loses. If you've got a platform, people are going to want to be there. People are going to want to be on your platform, particularly the more audience you've got. Of course they're going to want to be there. If their audience are listening to your podcast, they want to be there because they want to get in front of that audience. Of course they do. So it's kudos for you, getting like a big name on the block. Exposure for the expert and important information for your listeners. Leverage it. Find a famous, let's say your listeners wants to learn about, I don't know, list building. Find a list building expert. Most people are really, really good. You know, I've interviewed Nicola several times on various things, and it's great. You know, the listeners love it. It's the information they want. Kudos for me getting Nicola, exposure for her on my platform, and important information for the listeners. I think I've round that point home. Now, and then when you've done that, you can make the interview available to the expert when you've done it. So I could go back to Nicola and say, thank you very much. Here's the interview. Oh, and here's the link to it. Here's the Twitter link. Here's the Facebook link. Here's the link on Libsyn, which I talked about earlier. Here's the link to iTunes. Here's the link for this and that. And she could email her listeners, her email list, and say, I was interviewed by this person, ... So you'll get a mention then by the expert telling their people, their tribe, that they've had an interview with you. Do you see what I mean? And then you can email your people and say, I've had an interview with this one. See, you get the sense, the viral sense of this. You get the sense of how this can go so viral. You tell your people, expert tells their people, and they tell their people, and they tell their friends, and blimey. It's a win-win-win. The possibilities are absolutely insane. I hope I've ran that point home. Fourth way to promote. I get very overexcited doing this. I'm ever so sorry. I'm not even drunk. It's a fourth way to promote this, which is leveraging existing communities. There's LinkedIn. All right. There's the Meetup community, and of course Facebook. There are huge groups on here on just about any subject you like. Get in there. How do you do it? People think this is a bit like forum marketing. People think forum marketing is just going into a forum and pasting a bunch of affiliate links. No, it's not. You get slung out. What it is about is going in there and being a valuable member. Be helpful. Be of service. Ask and receive questions. Give and receive feedback and support and guidance. Accept criticism. Even someone with a fragile ego like me can do that sometimes. And find accountability partners as well. You know, if you say you're going to do something, get someone in there to kind of, you know, watch your back and make sure you do it. And doing that, you'll start to build and get reach, and build your reach and get known in these very well-known groups. I mean, we all know LinkedIn, Meetup, and Facebook, and there's loads of others. And then, if someone asks a question in there of you, because you're now the resident expert, because you're helping people, you can say, oh yeah, I just made a podcast on that, and here's the link. No resistance selling. Direct them to your podcast. There's another good way. Leverage. Boom. Fifth way to promote. Social media. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Look at the amount of social media sites here. It's ridiculous. And there's, you know, I could talk for hours probably. I'm not actually a social media expert, but there are many. I've learned some pretty good tricks on promoting on social media, like how to get your YouTube videos ranked and all that sort of thing. Would you like to know that? I might tell you. I feel like it. Anyway, step 5 is monetize it. It can be a hobby. Of course it can. But if you want it to be a viable business, not only increasing your marketing efforts, but actually becoming a source or sources of income to you, then watch on. First of all, if you've got a lot of people listening and you're recommending things, be an affiliate. Recommend stuff that you use and like. Are you in internet marketing? You can recommend lead capture pages, hosting, or, of course, if you've got a guest on, recommend their products. If people want the information and their guest has got the information, then a time-saving product at the end of it, because no one's got enough time to implement all the information all the time. They might want a time-saving device. Your guest provides it. Recommend that. You become an affiliate for other people's stuff, and you're not really selling. You're just presenting and giving information, much like I'm doing to you here. Resources that you use, resources that you love. Why not? Coaching. Offer a package. Weekly calls. Reasonable email access to you. Webinars. Podcasts. Put a package together. This is a way of monetizing your stuff. Offer it at the end of your podcast. So if you'd like to go into this content more deeply, we can cover the 1, 2, 3 subjects I've covered tonight in 3 webinars, 1 a week. Put it together. Put a package together for them. Invite them. Private mastermind group. Entrepreneurs generally, I find, want a supportive group. Group synergy is powerful. It gives even more of a chance to know your customers, and you know, we've all experienced the power of, you know, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Masterminding is huge now. Do a private mastermind group. Provide a place where people can come and hang out and play and discuss and brainstorm. That's another way of monetizing it, and of course you charge for that. Nicola's written something in the chat. Let's have a look. The only person that said no so far was Seth Godin, but he was really nice about it. So it doesn't matter that he said no as long as he was nice. Okay, fair enough. But if it had been rude, that'd been another story. Okay. But seriously, that's what I'm saying. The only person that said no, and I imagine Nicola's asked a lot of people to be interviewed, and only one said no. There you go. So a monetized private mastermind group. Sponsorship. Now, I can't go into this in too much detail now, but if you've got a high traffic forum, people might pay to advertise there. You know, you've got a rooftop to shout it from. People might want to put banners and things on your rooftop, if you like. It's fairly obvious. Sponsorship opportunities. And the 5th way is your own products. What do your clients want? You should know, because you've researched it earlier, which we talked about. Create it. Sell it to them. What do they want? Increase the value of it. There's ways of doing that. Did you know you can take a $27 product that you've created that's gathering dust on your hard drive? Do you know you can sell that for $2,000? I know how to do that. I might do another webinar. If you'd like more details of that, would you like details of that? Just type yes in if you'd like details of that. How to really up the value of something. Take a $27 dusty old product on your hard drive and up the value of it so you could sell it for 10 times the value. If you'd like to know that, just type yes in. I'll put a link. I'm going to email you a bunch of videos that I couldn't show you on here. I'll put a link in there. You can download a document. It'll show you how to do that. Yes, obviously, says Nicola. No, not being sarcastic at all. Yes, you can have that. Of course you can have that. I'll throw that in as well. But yeah, you can do that. So what do your clients want? Oh, you know, and do you know, it's actually just as easy to sell a high-end, you know, couple of $1,000 product as it is a $27 product. It's hard to believe, but the same amount of energy and work goes into that. So yes, says Suzanne. My pleasure, Suzanne. It'll be coming your way, girl. It's just as easy to sell the big one as it is the little one. Just as much energy goes into it, so why wouldn't you? And it's not conning anyone. You're creating massive value. You're just upping the value of your offering. And there's ways of upping that value and legitimately creating value. I can tell you how to do it. So let's recap. Number one, you get the equipment. It's cheap, as you know. Number two, you research who's your audience. Number three, you record and edit. You saw we could do that in less than 7 minutes. Number four, you promote. Lots of ways to do it. Number five, you monetize. It rhymes. It's beautiful. That is the power and the beauty of podcasting. There are 1 billion podcasts in the world. Only 250,000 people, I believe, are providing content. That's 1 billion reasons to have one, and 250,000 reasons to be one of those people that is providing the content to the vast, vast, vast podcast market that exists at the moment. Are there any hidden costs to doing it? Actually, yes. There's one. Only a small one. It's a small monthly fee for hosting. If you host it yourself on your blog, that would be free, just the cost of the blog, obviously. But this is easier, and this is Libsyn, which we were talking about earlier. Now, I pay $15 a month, and that is more than enough for what I do, and you get all the Libsyn features. It syndicates it for you. It creates links which you can put in iTunes. It's you know, brilliant, and it gets statistics and all that sort of thing. You can pay more if you want to and get more features, but the $15 a month one is fine for me. So is there a hidden cost? Yes, there is. Libsyn is the daddy, says Nicola Cairncross. Wouldn't recommend in case you get very popular, says Nicola. I don't know what that means. Hosting yourself, that is. Okay, wouldn't recommend doing that unless you're very popular. Okay, fair enough. Libsyn is the daddy. The voice of Nicola has spoken, and I always listen to that because I'm too scared not to. Now, I'm sure you'd agree there's been some good information shared on this webinar. I mean, if you haven't done it before, it could be a bit overwhelming. It could be a bit overwhelming to put all this into practice. And chances are, if you've got an internet business, there's lots of things you're putting into practice, and you're finding it hard to be an information overlord, and you're more suffering from information overload. So with your permission, can I show you a way to make this journey a bit, or maybe an awful lot, easier for you? That's what I've got to offer you. I've hopefully delivered priceless information. Do you want to get this up and running as soon as possible? Let me hear you say, yeah. Let me show you the fastest possible way to make this happen for you, to get you up and running. Something we call the gold service. The statistics are undeniable. Time is right. People are wanting new information. People are wanting change. The technology is available and it is easy. The problem is 21st century technology has created the 21st century problem of time pressure. There's just not enough hours in the blimmin' day. Those of you running an internet business, how many times have you sat in front of that screen and thought, I'll just do an hour, and suddenly like 8 hours has passed, and you realise that you're hungry and in a bad mood because you just haven't got the time to do it. The problem is the time investment and the learning curve. Recording the podcast as well as researching it, of course, total time 1 to 2 hours. There's no way around that bit. You will have to research it and you will have to record it. However, the time for the rest of the setup is about 12 hours editing, learning the editing software, opening the Libsyn account, setting it up, configuring WordPress for your podcast if you choose to host it yourself, or you're going to want a link on your blog anyway, probably. Artwork, hosting, setting up the social media, getting it iTunes ready. The solution? We'll do most of it for you.
Thank you for looking at our gold package. We'll give you free hosting for your WordPress blog. We'll get you iTunes ready. We'll create artwork for you and make sure you're completely happy with it before anything goes live. We'll set up the blog for you and install the plugins that you need, including a very good search engine optimization plugin, which makes sure you get great rankings. I'll give you a 30-minute consultation with me. I've been a radio presenter for 20 years, so I know quite a bit about this stuff. I can give you some tips and tricks on how to make the most of your voice and presenting styles that your listeners will relate to. And we can just chat about your podcast and brainstorm some ideas if you like. We can do a lot in 30 minutes. You get that thrown in. You also get the Get Into Radio downloadable book full of radio insights, tips and tricks. You get the perfect promo document on how to make a perfect radio promo, like those 30-second adverts you hear on the radio. They're short and sharp and snappy. There's a particular way of doing those. This document will teach you exactly how to do it. We'll install the share buttons on your blog for you, and of course install all the plugins that you need, including the big search engine optimization one, which is really, really important, so you get some good rankings. Plus we'll edit it for you. We'll edit your podcast. If you don't want to do it, we'll edit and we will upload it for you as well. All you need to do is let your clients and customers know that a new podcast has been posted, write a few words about it on your blog, and we will do all the rest, all the behind-the-scenes stuff and all the editing as well, and the uploading of the podcast too. All you need to do is worry about recording the darn thing and then send it to us. We create a special account in Dropbox. You pop your unedited version in Dropbox in the special account that we're set up for you, and then as if by magic it will come back absolutely edited and already uploaded. We'll let you know when it's done, and you can let your clients and customers know. Write a few words about it on your blog or send them an email, and your brand new podcast is ready to go, and we'll do all the behind the scenes stuff for you.
The Get Into Radio book, that's worth $37, all right? Consultation with me, that is worth $500, okay? 30 minutes of my time. And if you live locally, by the way, we can meet. Obviously, unless you want to fly me out to America, that probably wouldn't be possible unless you want to. But if you do live locally, or even reasonably locally, you know, 20, 30 miles, whatever, I'm happy to come to see you. And I'm very house trained and nice and all that sort of thing, and I wear a nice aftershave, and we'll have a coffee and a chat or something. You get the perfect promo doc, $17. Also, I interviewed a couple of radio professional friends of mine. I said to them, do us a favour, and one of them is a guy that used to work at LBC. He's brilliant, and he reveals his deepest secrets for making his voice sound brilliant. There's another guy called George Alderman who's great fun to work with, such a laugh, and he gives his secrets as well. Both very different, but both very professional people. I'll chuck that in, that's worth 47 quid. I'll chuck in a private Facebook group for you, where you can come and brainstorm and hang out, and also reasonable email support with me. So if you do hit a snag, not there's many snags for you to hit because we'll be doing most of it, but if you do hit a snag, or you want to ask me something, absolutely fine, or you can just contact me in the Facebook group as well. Meet Derek Kemp. He's another client of mine we did a podcast for. He's a branding expert. He's offering half an hour's consultation with him as well, talking about your brand. That's worth nearly $500. Branding you, expertly branding. I've worked with this guy. He's brilliant. He's not an easy touch. He's a stickler, okay? And he's pulled me up on so many things I didn't know that I didn't know. And I look back and I thought, thank God for that. I would much rather have that than someone who misses things and is slapdash or a bit ADD like me. He's not. He's brilliant. He's a businessman of 30 years or more. Seriously, I can't extol the value of what he does more. The man is brilliant, and he's an absolute expert at what he does. He's offering a 30-minute consultation with him. He's got a website called World Class Brand. That gives you an idea of what this guy's about. Want your brand to be world class? We'll give you 30 minutes with Derek Kemp thrown in for this. This is worth well over $2,000, well, pretty much $2,000. There you go. We cut to the chase. $497. It's around 300 quid, isn't it? And it's the time it saves you. It is the time it saves you. That's what we're offering it for today. One-time payment, $497, and we'll do all that for you, including opening the Libsyn account. I did mention you would have to buy the Libsyn account as well, which is an ongoing $15 a month if you want to do it that way, just to be completely transparent. That's the only hidden cost, but we did talk about that. Apart from that, there's no hidden costs. All of that bonus stuff, all of that, the Facebook, the Derek, the consultation, the Get Into Radio book, me coming down smelling of aftershave and buying you a coffee if you live near, $497. There you go. That's what it's worth, $19.97 value. But today, for one morning only, it is $497. There you go. If you would like to take this further, neillongonline.com/podcast offer. neillongonline.com/ podcast offer. If you don't want to take it further, it's been lovely to meet you, and I hope it's delivered great value. I've had great fun sitting here. I'm now about to go for a beer with one of my best friends, and
I think after all the techie challenges you faced tonight, you deserve a beer, dear.
I think I deserve several. You're going to come and buy me one, Cairncross?
I'd love to, but you're in the outer wilds of London, / Essex somewhere, aren't you?